Hey, it's Mosquito, also known as Chris. Welcome to the shop. This is another installment of the What's in My Shop. And yeah, some stuff changed. So I had cleaned this off at one point, and then I promptly uncleaned it. So, I mean, this is progress. Don't worry, don't worry. I cleaned some of it so that I could put this thing back together. So that's jam-packed. It's a really small computer case with probably way too much hardware in it. If you're following this channel, you probably know about that already. This would be the other major change at the moment. The 45 display cabinet and old China hutch, I guess, has now moved to the center of the shop. I don't think it's going to stay there, except temporarily anyway. So over here, we have this space now opened up from the China hutch, or 45 hutch, I guess, and that wasn't completely intentional. So one day, well, not one day, there was a couple of days where I had noticed that there was a little bit of water over here. There's often a little tiny bit of water over here in the corner in the winter because, you know, snow blows up to the garage door, and if I don't get it cleaned out in time, it starts melting and whatnot and kind of comes in. And it's a low spot over in this corner, so thankfully it doesn't really spread anywhere when it goes, but it, you know, fills up in there. And anyway, I happened to peel up this carpet once, because I do that from time to time to make sure that it doesn't get wet underneath it for too long, and it was wet. And then I looked further in the corner, and it was standing with at least a 1/4 inch of water. So pulled this guy out of there. I mean, it's on wheels, so it's not hard. It's just not very much on wheels, and so it got a little bit damp on the bottom, but I took the heat gun to it and cleaned it all out. But yeah, anyway, I, in a hurry, kind of put this shelf up here. It's certainly not pretty, but it'll get the job done, and that just kind of has all my networking stuff. It was all just sitting on top of this hutch over here originally, so I took all that stuff off of there and threw it up here on this shelf, just a small little shelf along with one of my scratch builds here, hanging in the balance. I think I'm going to do clamp rack over there, and then kind of for the long clamps up here, kind of just directly below that shelf, and then the shorter clamps underneath over that way. And then up there, I think longer term goal, what I'd like to do is build some sort of a display cabinet. Whether it takes the place of this with all my 45s in it, I don't know. I mean, this works really well. It's a pretty good size for it. That's one thing that I've thought about. I don't know that I've really got enough room there though, because like I said, this hutch is a pretty good size for what it is. And what I was looking at doing was probably making it mount from basically the ending down here and then going up to that outlet up there. And it's a good spot for it because that outlet up there with the S on it is switched by that switch. So I actually used to have the lights in the 45 cabinet hooked up to that switch, even though it was kind of a pain because I had to get there behind it. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking for this space. The clamp rack would probably come first. I did really like that cabinet there though, because it fit like perfectly. It was the right depth, didn't interfere with the door, and it was the right width. So the only thing that it didn't do so well with was, so I think the problem is that there was just no airflow back here. So what happened, or was happening, is sort of happening, was basically it's been really cold. It's been highs below zero, like 7 or 8 below for high temperatures, and things like in this corner, especially down here, the block was just so cold, and it was happening even like over here. And yeah, splitting wall, because the furnace freezes up if I don't chop the ice in the back. all kinds of fun having a shop in ridiculously cold weather. But yeah, anyway, the water was just condensing on the block itself in places where there wasn't very good airflow, which was this whole wall, basically, because that cabinet was there and not very much heat or airflow got behind it. I turned the heat up, turned the humidity down to try and warm that up, and I mean, it's working. For sure, it's working, because it's not, you know, it's not condensing on here anymore. It's just, I think, mainly over here where the airflow around the edge of the garage door happens to freeze because it's so freaking cold outside, and then thaws. And but this is most definitely the next thing on the docket. I need to finish this case up, finish this case mod, and get those videos done, and then I can clean this finally, because I had thought about moving this table kind of over there, putting the display cabinet basically straight back from where it is, put it in place of that base cabinet thing, because I really want to get rid of the base cabinets, put this table there kind of right next to it, and that comes out to about here, which is enough room to swing the garage door or the entry door open. So it's still a possibility. I may end up doing that because, I mean, it's not that tall. It'll end up below that display cabinet, and I don't think I'm going to have my clamp rack extend out over that far. So I don't know, just weighing a bunch of options. Everything is on wheels, and that's pretty much why. So yeah, that's pretty much where I've been at out here. I haven't done much else otherwise, because I'm still doing a bunch of work, too much work, and then also trying to get stuff done on the house. I've got the basement remodel stuff. So anyway, I appreciate you checking this out, and if you aren't already subscribed, please feel free to hit that button, and I will catch you in the next one.